U.S. President Donald Trump has made a big reversal and is now urging Republican lawmakers to vote to release the Epstein files. And Trump has faced persistent questions about his relationship with the former financier and repeated questions for files related to Epstein to be released. And Trump has maintained that he has, quote, nothing to hide, despite the release of documents by House Democrats, including Trump's name. And questions surrounding his and other prominent figures' past relationship with Epstein has fueled speculation and led to fractures within Trump loyalists. Several Republicans have signaled they are willing to break ranks and vote in favor of a bill that would compel the Justice Department to publish all of the documents on Epstein. With me now is Larry Haas, a former White House official and senior fellow at the American Foreign Policy Council. Larry, thanks for being here.
Nice to be with you. Thank you.
Let's get into this, shall we, to a pretty big reversal from the U.S. president and what he posted to on Truth Social and his social media over the weekend. What do you make of these latest developments and, I guess, the issues that they are now causing him, at least at this point?
Well, clearly, he needed to change course because he was going to lose the vote. He had been working very hard in the last few weeks to try to keep House Republicans off of this so-called discharge petition in the House, which has now got a majority, forcing the vote to the House floor against the leadership, against the wishes of the White House. But when it became clear that more and more House Republicans were going to actually vote for this measure, putting him in a position of losing if he continued to oppose it, he decided to reframe himself and say he supports it, and this is all a Democratic hoax, and he's got nothing to hide, and now he's, pushing House Republicans to support it. The silly thing, of course, is that, the measure is to compel the Justice Department to release the so-called Epstein files. The president can order the attorney general to release the files tomorrow. So clearly this isn't, terribly sincere. If he wanted the files out, they'd be out.
Right, and I think that's the thing that some people are pointing to already, as the point you just made, that if he wants them to be out there, they certainly can be. We're showing pictures, too, of Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that's just one of, it's been an interesting development to, in her push to have these documents released. Her relationship with Donald Trump has certainly changed, and it doesn't really feel clearly that they are on the same side or on friendly, at least, anymore. With a name like that, maybe at the forefront of how fracturing, right along those lines that forced Trump to make a different move. What does that speak to now moving forward? And is that going to have any impact on Donald Trump here moving forward?
Well, it will have an impact. Congressman Massey, who's leading this effort, along with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and others, basically said, it's fine to stand by the president when you're worried about your primary, but that's fine when the president's here and also when he's popular. But if he's not popular, and the fact he's not going to be here, that much longer, he's in his last term, you have to think about the future. You have to think about whether you want to be associated with an effort to protect a so-called pedophile in Jeffrey Epstein. So, these House Republicans are beginning to think about themselves. The president has become more unpopular. We saw that in the recent midterm elections. And they're worried about their own futures beyond Donald Trump. And I think this is a pretty good reflection of that. And
I want to ask you, too, so even if this does get through the House, some of the musings today in the Senate and whether this is actually going to go to a vote or not, what's your read on that? Does it really matter at this point, too?
Well, it certainly matters. I think that the margin in the House is going to say a lot. If there is a massive revolt among House Republicans, it's going to put tremendous pressure on Senate Republicans to go along, especially because there'll be more and more pressure just around the country, from the Republican base. Look what House Republicans did. Why are Senate Republicans blocking this? So I think it really does matter. But you are right. Senate Republican leadership has been non-committal so far. They haven't said that they're going to bring it to a vote. But I think the margin in the House will say a lot about what the Senate is likely to do down the road.
Okay, Larry Haas, a former White House official, senior fellow at the American Foreign Policy Council. Thanks so much for your time, Larry.
Nice to be here. Thank you.